Okay. So before starting today's session, do you have any doubts or queries?
No, Kalyan.
Okay. Let's get started then. So I'm sharing my screen. Yesterday we have discussed about SailPoint IAQ versions, right? We have discussed about the base versions, patch version, how the base version works, how patch works, all of those things we have discussed. And finally, we have agreed that we'll go with version 8.2 followed by a patch version like either P3 or P4 for our SailPoint IAQ. Okay. So now after fixing the SailPoint IAQ versions, we need to check the versions for the dependent software components. Okay. When we say the dependent software components, like we have Java, we have web server, database server, etc. Even we have our operating system also comes into picture. Okay. So how to check this? How to check these dependent software versions? Okay. So in order to check this, we have something called an installation guide provided by SailPoint. Okay. So for each version of SailPoint, so basically the installation guides will be provided for the base versions only. Okay, so for each base version, SailPoint will provide an installation guide. So we need to check the installation guide, and from that installation guide, we have to confirm about the dependent software versions. Okay, so let's check it. Okay, so this is how the installation guide looks. You can see the version says 8.2. It means like we are going to install SailPoint IAQ version 8.2. So that's why we have taken the installation guide for version 8.2. So let's go here. Here in the very first step itself, in the beginning of the document itself, we have this section mentioned called supported platforms. Okay, so this supported platform basically tells us about all the software versions that are required. See, whatever we are discussing currently, like about the version dependency, so this holds true for upgrade also. Let's suppose if we are doing SailPoint upgrade, and let's say if our targeted version is 8.4, then either we need to check the upgrade release docs or the installation doc for version 8.4 and make sure that all the dependent software versions are matching with our current software versions. So this is an like pre-installation or pre-upgrade check, right? Okay. So let's go one by one. So for the first supported platform they're mentioning is operating system. So within the operating system, the suggested one is SUSE Linux, Enterprise version 15 and 12, and Windows Server 2016 and 2019, CentOS 8.3 and 7.9. So these are the versions that are supported for installation of SailPoint IAQ. Okay, so we don't have any of these servers as of now. We don't have any of these operating systems. But how we are going to perform our installation in lab? Okay, so here they have given a note. Okay, so which holds true for all the dependent software also. So let's go through this note once. Okay, so this note is given for Linux. So they are saying for Linux, the distribution and version of Linux highlighted below have been verified by Identity IQ Engineering. It means whatever may be the versions they have mentioned here. So these are the versions in which the SailPoint IAQ engineering team has tested their product. Let's say if we take Identity IQ 8.2, so they have tested Identity IQ 8.2 on SUSE Linux Enterprise Server 15 and SUSE Linux Enterprise Server 12. and they have also tested in Windows Server 2016 and 2019. Okay, so but any current available unsupported distribution and version of Linux will be supported by SailPoint. So what they are indirectly saying is, whatever may be the versions we are mentioning here, so this is something tested by SailPoint. Okay, so if there is any version other than the versions mentioned here, so still SailPoint IAQ will support. Okay, it's not that if you take Windows Server 2012, the SailPoint IAQ installation will not support. It supports, but that particular version is not verified by SailPoint, so they are not recommending it. Okay, but still it works. So 99% it works. Okay. So again, they're saying this implementation customers should verify that the distribution and version of Linux choice is compatible with the application server. So this is something important. It must be compatible with the application server, database server, and JDK also. So what they're saying is, whenever you are selecting any operating system, you have to make sure that this operating system is compatible with the versions we are mentioning for application servers, database, and also the Java platform that we are going to use. Okay. So here, that is the reason why we are going ahead with our Windows only. I mean, the Windows OS that we currently have in our laptop. So we are not installing any of the servers, but my Windows operating system, it basically supports Apache Tomcat and basically supports the database, and it basically supports Java. So I am good to use this. Okay. So one more point to remember here with respect to versions. Okay. Whenever you are implementing for lab purpose, that's fine. Like whatever maybe the versions you are using, so that's fine for lab purpose. But whenever you are performing installation of SailPoint for any organization in real time, you have to make sure that you are following all the versions as mentioned here only. Okay. So if they are saying like Windows Server 2016, then you have to either use Windows Server 2016, or as they're saying, it could be Windows Server 2019. We have to use any of these only. We cannot go ahead with Windows Server 2012 when we say when we are implementing it for any organization. So the reason is there may be a situation where we may need to reach out to SailPoint for troubleshooting any issues. Let's say if we have any issues within SailPoint IAQ, we can reach out to SailPoint team for raising a support case. Okay, so whenever we raise a support case, first thing they will ask is about our platforms. So they will ask which Windows server you are using, which application server you are using, which database you are using, like what version, everything. So if we say we are using something which is not mentioned here in the document, okay, then SailPoint will simply say that you are not following the SailPoint recommended versions. So the first thing they will ask is to stick to the versions mentioned here. So even though the issue that we are facing is relevant to this or not, first thing they will say is like go and make sure that the platforms are as mentioned in the supported platforms. So once we basically like upgrade or change the platform to the one that is recommended here, and if we still face the issue, then they will consider the case. Otherwise, they will not consider. They will first blame that we are not using the supported platforms, and they will ask us to stick to that with an assumption that that will solve the issue. Okay, so in order to avoid such scenarios, like we always try to use only the supported platforms mentioned in the installation or upgrade document for enterprise implementations. But for our lab purpose, for our local installation, we can go ahead with the supported platforms. And why we can go, they have mentioned the reason. Okay, so for the operating system, we are going to use our Windows operating system only. Currently, I have Windows 11. So whatever may be the version that is present in your laptop, like we'll go ahead with that. Okay. So let's say to note down the versions I'll be using, I'm going to use Windows 11 is the operating system I'm going to use. Okay. So the next one is application servers. So as I mentioned, there are many types of application servers. Okay. So among them, we can choose anyone. And as I mentioned, whenever we are choosing any software, we always choose free and open source softwares. So for which we need not to pay any amount for licensing. Okay. If you go for a WebLogic, we need to pay license, and it's an heavy application. The installation process is difficult, and also it occupies a lot of memory. Okay. And rest of the application servers, most of the time we are not familiar, and this is not frequently used. So the commonly used application server is Apache Tomcat. Okay. So for our SailPoint IAQ 8.2 installation, we are going to select Apache Tomcat version 9.0. Okay. So web server, we are going to say Apache Tomcat 9.0. So this is the version we are using. And why we are noting it down? Because we are cross-checking it with the supported versions of SailPoint IAQ 8.2. And then only we are noting. Okay. So we are good with application servers. So database server, these are all the database servers supported. So IBM DB2, IBM DB2 11.5. If you are going with MySQL, either you can go with 5.7 or 8.0. We can go ahead with Microsoft SQL Server. The supported versions are 2019 and 2017, or we can go with Oracle database. The version supported is 19C. So in this, we are going ahead with Microsoft SQL Server version 8.0. So mostly whatever may be the versions they are mentioning, we are trying to go with the latest version only. So database, we are going to use MySQL because MySQL is one another open source database. It is easy to use. Okay, we are going ahead with version 8.0. So database server, MySQL version 8.0. So well and good. So the next one is Java version. Okay. So we are not going to use any cloud platform. So that's fine. We are going to skip it. So among the Java platforms, we have multiple flavors of Java available. You can see we have Java from Sun or Oracle or IBM. So if you are installing your Java JDK from any of these providers, that is well and good. It always supports. So if you're going ahead with OpenJDK, then the version OpenJDK 11 is supported. So in case of these flavors, JDK 1.8 is minimum. Okay. JDK 1.8 is minimum, and JDK 11, either you can go with any one of these, JDK 1.8 or JDK 11 for all application servers. It means like whatever may be the application server you are selecting, so it is applicable for all. Okay. So accordingly, like we can go ahead. So even in this case, we can take and leverage. This is for local setup. Okay. Java do have an option called backward compatibility. Okay. So there is a concept called backward compatibility in Java. Uh, Anyone have any idea about it? Like what do we mean by backward compatibility? As we already are familiar with Java, at least for now.
No, Kalyan.
So the term backward compatibility means we have multiple versions of Java coming, right? So we have Java 8, we have Java 11, and say we have Java 21. I don't know what is the latest version, 26 or 27. So this way, Java have multiple versions. Okay. So there is a new feature introduced in Java 8. Let's say one that is very familiar with streams. Okay. So in Java 8, they have introduced a feature called streams. Okay. If you install Java 21, what are maybe the features that got introduced in the lower versions like Java 8 and Java 11, still those versions will be available, those features will be available in Java 21. So this is what we call as backward compatibility. So here in this case, even though they are saying Java 8, for our lab purpose, if we install any latest version of Java, then the latest version will have all the APKs, everything that are covered in the lower versions also. So this is called Java compatibility. Okay, again, so for our practice purpose, we can go ahead and use the versions which are prior to the mentioned versions, because we know Java is backward compatible. But if you're implementing it for your organization, make sure like you are sticking to these versions only. And we know the reason why we need to stick to this, even though it is supporting the future versions. Okay. Okay, fine. So we have decided. So Java, let's say 1.8. Okay, so this is the minimum version required. So we will use this. So we have come to a conclusion. So now we are clear about the software requirements for installation of SailPoint IAQ. Okay, we know which software to use along with the version. Okay, so the next immediate job is download the supported softwares. Okay, so how to download these softwares? So all of the other software operating system, we are not going to download anyhow, because we are going to use the existing operating system in our laptop. So we are not going to download any OS. So this is done. Okay, so next thing is these four softwares, right from Java to our SailPoint IIQ. How to download them? Okay, so let's see one by one. So if you are going ahead with Java, we can simply go to our browser. Simply go to our browser and just search in our browser like download Java 8. Okay, you can see this is the Oracle's website. Okay, so from Oracle side, I'm going ahead, and here I can download Java. You can choose the platform of your choice, like which platform you are using. So my platform is Windows. So for Windows, either you can go with Cross 86 or 64, and you can download it. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. No complexity involved. Okay, and make sure that it's Java 8 only. Just check the versions. Okay, you can see. So this is SC8, Standard Edition 8. So this is what we want. So this is basically archived. It means the latest version is something else, but as we need Java 8, like we are going to download it. Otherwise, like if you want to go with the latest version only, like you can go ahead, not an issue. But the recommended version is Java 8, and this is how we do this. Okay, so just in case you need these links, I'm sharing it in chat. So one more thing is, you need not to download all the softwares from the internet, but just giving you an idea. So I will be giving you a drive link. Okay, so within the drive link, you will have all the softwares. Whatever is required for installation of our SailPoint IAQ, I will provide all the installers within the drive link. We can use those installers, but just for getting an idea of how to download, like we are checking this. Okay, so once we click on download, it starts downloading. Then we'll have that executable file. So keep that handy. Like as of now, we are talking about only the download part, not about the installation. Okay, installation we'll discuss in next step. Okay, so we are good with Java. Next one is web server. Web server, we need Apache Tomcat 9.4. So same thing, go to your browser and just say Apache Tomcat 9. So all the softwares comes for free of cost. I need not to worry about it. So I just searched it, and I'm going to the first link, which is basically the Tomcat's official website. And you can see the latest version of Tomcat is Tomcat 11, but still we are sticking to Tomcat 9 only. So this is for Tomcat 9 downloads. And let's go here and we are using Windows, right? So you can go ahead either 32-bit or 64-bit Windows service installer. So always go for service installer. So it will be little easy. So Apache Tomcat, right? It comes in different ways for our installation. So few installations, they will give the zip file, and once we extract the zip content, we will have all the folders related to Tomcat. So whenever you want to run the Tomcat, every time you have to go to that folder and you have to run the executable file. So instead of that, if you go with Windows Service Installer, it will be installed as a Windows service. That I will be showing you how it will be installed as a Windows service. So it is always better if we go with Windows Service Installer. Okay, it will be easy for us to handle, and for startup and shutdown automatically. Everything it will be easy to configure. So always go with Windows Service Installer. Okay, so this is what we want. Let's suppose if you are using Mac or something else, you have to make sure that you are downloading the compatible version, like whatever may be the operating system you're using. So you have to make sure that you are downloading the installer that is compatible with that one. So this is how we basically download our Apache Tomcat. Pretty straightforward. Again, like no complexity. Next one, like a database server, we are going to use MySQL 8.0. And same thing, I'll go here. I'll say MySQL 8 download. So this is the official website of MySQL. And we always go for community service installer. Okay, so the other installers, it may come up with some license, but we'll go with the community installer. You can see operating system is Windows and version is 8.0.42. So let's go ahead and download the Windows installer. Anyone is fine. We have to download the Windows installer. So just pinging the link for your reference. But again, as I mentioned, you need not to download these versions. I will give you the installer separately. Okay. So if you want to save the links, you can. Once the call ends, like these links will be gone. So this way we can download the dependent software. So these are pretty straightforward. We all know. We might have done it many times. Maybe not just for SailPoint IAQ, but for some other purpose. We might have downloaded and installed Java when we are practicing Java. Tomcat we might have used for any web application development and deployment. Okay, so these are all pretty straightforward. So our main focus is how to download this SailPoint IAQ. So this is what new to us. This is what we don't know. So let's do this. Okay. So if you observe SailPoint IAQ, as we discussed, the version comes as base version and patch version. Okay. During the download also, we have to download the base version separately, and we have to download the patch also separately. So when we go with SailPoint IAQ download, we have to see the versions, patches, everything, and we have to download each and everything separately. Okay. So for SailPoint Identity IQ 8.2 P2, we are going to download the base version separately and patch version also separately. Let's go. So where to go on download? So in order to download SailPoint IAQ, we have something called Compass. So this is the name of the website that we are providing. It's basically a community site for SailPoint. So the URL of this site is community.sailpoint.com. So this is the place from where we are going to download our SailPoint. So let me do this. So I'm pasting the URL here and hitting enter. So this is how the home page looks. The home page of the Compass community looks. Okay. So the main problem with downloading SailPoint IAQ is it is not available for everyone to download. So the other softwares like Apache Tomcat, Java, everything, anyone can download, even a working professional or even a student can download it. But This compass can be downloaded only by working professionals, because in order to download anything, or if you want to perform any activity within this compass community, first we need to sign in. Okay, if we want to sign in, like during the sign up process, they will ask your email id, and they will not allow the sign up to be done on any personal mail ids. We always need to have an organizational email id, and that too, your organization must be a partner of SailPoint. Okay, so only for partners they are providing access to download SailPoint. So that is the reason why it is not available for everyone. Okay, so in order to download the SailPoint IAQ, you must have your company's email ID, and your company must be a partner of SailPoint IAQ. So once we have, like, you can sign up first, and after sign up you can sign in. Okay, so after signing into SailPoint, we can download the IAQ software. Okay, so for now I'm stopping my screen share. I need to enter my credentials. So I'm stopping my screen share. Let me share my screen again. So once I sign in, this is how the home page looks. You can see the sign in option is gone, and it is basically showing my profile here. And this is how the home page looks. So once we are into home page, in order to download SailPoint IAQ, we need to navigate to products and services. The option was here. And on this, you can see there are some segregations. We have something called cloud, we have something called on-premise. So the SailPoint Identity IQ software that we are going to use, it's an on-premise tool. So you can see the name also, Identity IQ. So let's go to this Identity IQ. So within Identity IQ, we have an option called product downloads. So this is the place we'll have our installer. So let's go to product downloads. And here you can see the latest version of SailPoint is version 8.4, and the latest patch available is P2. Okay, now the version that we want is 8.2. Okay, and for 8.2, the latest patch available is P7. Let it be, like, if the latest version is P7, that is also fine. Either we can go with P7 or we can go ahead with P3, P4, anything is fine. But the only thing is we need to install a patch, so that's what we need to follow. So here we have the details of version 8.2 available. And as I mentioned, in order to download the SailPoint, first we need to download the base version. You can see we have base version here. So let's click on Identity IQ 8.2, which is basically the base version. So once you click on this, if you see, like, this is the product documentation. So what is newly added in 8.2 version, what is removed, everything will be mentioned here. So this is basically kind of product release notes. Okay, so you can check the release notes if you want, like what is new here, if you are curious to explore. But in order to download, we have to come to this download section, and within the downloads, we have this Identity IQ 8.2 zip. We have to download this zip folder. Okay, so this is the path we need to navigate in order to download SailPoint IAQ base version. Okay, so 8.2, we can click on the zip. Once you click on the zip, it will automatically download the zip folder. So we are good, done. So the base version has been downloaded. So the next one is patch version. So in patch, we need something like P3 or P4, but that is not shown here, because every time whenever a new patch is coming, they will archive the previous releases. Okay, so in order to get the previous releases, we need to go to view previous releases, and within this you can see we have P6 available, we have P5 available, P4, P3, all of these are available here. Let's say I want to go with P4. So let's click on this 8.2 P4. Okay. So again, like within the patch set, whatever is highlighted, whatever is being done, they have mentioned all those here. So let's go down, and under downloads, there are so many things, but what we need is this 8.2 P4. Okay. And 8.2 P4, and that too, you can see the extension, it is a jar file. If we go for the base version of SailPoint IAQ, it will be a zip file, but in case of the patch, it will be a jar file. So once we click on this jar file, we will get it. Okay, it will be downloaded and we can take it. So this way we can download whatever may be the version of patch that we want. So with this, we know how to download all of these softwares, and by now we are good. We have downloaded all the softwares. Okay. So as we have these softwares available, we can get started with the installation. Okay. And during installation, we cannot go with any approach. So there is a particular way in which we have to install our softwares. Okay. So let's see which one needs to be installed first and which one should be installed later on. All of this. So for now, at least I can say I have all the softwares available. Let's say if I see the installers, you can see we have the zip folder of 8.2, we have the patch P4, we have the JDK installer, we have the Tomcat installer, we have the database server installer, everything is available. Okay, once we make sure that all of these are available, like we are good to get started with the installation. And you will be getting all of these softwares in the drive link I'm going to share. Okay, so you need not to worry. So this you will anyhow get. So as we have these softwares, let's see how to perform the installation. It means like in which order we'll do the installation. Okay. So before performing the installation, I would like to show you the high level architecture, how each of the software will be installed and how each of the software will be connected, so that during installation and during upgrade or during any of the maintenance process, we will have a clear picture of how the softwares are connected with each other, and by that we can analyze the impact. Let's say if we touch any software, we can analyze what will be the impact and what are the other components that will be affected. So let's see that once. Okay. So as you can see, so this is the deployment architecture of SailPoint IAQ. We call it as deployment architecture because this is the overall view of SailPoint once we perform the installation. Okay. So if you see, we have two operating system servers. Generally, we follow this approach only. For installing Apache Tomcat, or basically for installing any application server, we will take a separate physical server, and within the physical server, we'll put separate operating system. And similarly, for installing database, we'll take a separate physical server, and in that physical server, we will install a separate operating system also. Okay, this is real time, but in our lab, we are going to use single operating system only for installing the application server and also the database side. Okay. So once we install the OS, like once we have the OS, the immediate software that is dependent is Java. Okay. So Java is going to be the first software that will be installing because Java runs at operating system level. Okay. So when we are going ahead with installation of SailPoint IAQ, the first software that we'll install is Java. We'll install Java, we'll check the versions, everything done or not. So we'll cross check the whether the installation is done successfully or not. Okay. So soon after installation of Java, the next software that we use is Apache Tomcat. So after installation of Java, we will use Apache Tomcat server. Okay. So one other point we need to observe is for running Apache Tomcat also we need Java, because this Tomcat is also built by using Java technology only. Okay. So no matter whether it is SailPoint or something, if you are installing Apache Tomcat server, you need to install Java. So that is one of the prerequisites. Okay. So this Apache Tomcat server is the second software that we'll be installing. Let's say wherever we are installing Java, in that server only we are going to install Apache Tomcat. So well and good. So once Apache Tomcat is installed, we'll verify the Tomcat installation. Then we will go to the other server where we will install our database server. Okay. So after installing the app server, we will install database server, only the database server, nothing else. Okay. So after installing database server, then inside Apache Tomcat, we will deploy SailPoint IAQ. Okay. So we have to deploy SailPoint IAQ inside Apache Tomcat only. As we discussed, the SailPoint IAQ is a web application, and the purpose of Apache Tomcat is to run web applications. Okay, so that's why first we need Apache Tomcat, and after installing Apache Tomcat, then we will deploy SailPoint IAQ. Okay, so within a single Tomcat server or within a single application server, we can put any number of web applications. Okay, but ideally for load balancing purpose and all, for each installation of SailPoint, we'll put only one web server. I mean, we will only deploy one web application, but the design is if you have one application server like Tomcat, you can basically deploy any number of web applications. Okay, so just for your information, but here we are going to use only one web application, one version, one instance of SailPoint IIQ, but multiple is also possible, just for our knowledge. Okay, so once we deploy our SailPoint IIQ into our Apache Tomcat, the next thing we do is we will create an database instance of SailPoint IIQ in our web server, database server. So within our database server, we will be creating an instance of SailPoint IAQ. Okay, so once the SailPoint IAQ instance is created, we will connect the web component of SailPoint IAQ with the database component. Okay, so this way we will be achieving a communication from our web application to a database. So this is the architecture we have seen initially, right? So web servers, they are meant for running the web applications. So if for serving the response mechanism, let's say if our web application is one such thing where we need to store the collected information permanently to a database, then we can establish a communication between our application to the database. Okay, so this is what we are going to do here. Okay, so we are going to establish a communication between our web application to the database. If you see, this is the pretty much same architecture we are following. So whatever we are seeing here, so this part is nothing but the web server or application server part, and this database is nothing but the database setup we are going to create. Okay, so this is how, like conceptually, our entire SailPoint IIQ setup will look after completion of the installation. Okay, so the reason why I have explained this architecture is, let's say you are shutting down your Windows server. Okay, so you are shutting down your Windows server where you have your Tomcat, and within the Tomcat you have your SailPoint IIQ. So what will happen if the Windows server is shut down? Obviously, all the underlying services will be gone. Like your Apache Tomcat will be gone. If your Apache Tomcat is gone, then your SailPoint IIQ application will also be gone. It means like it will not be running. Okay, suppose our Windows operating system is running. Let's say Apache Tomcat server is stopped. Then what will happen? Once Apache Tomcat server is stopped, we will not have the SailPoint IIQ services available. This is the dependency we have. So in order to understand this dependency, I have mentioned this architecture. Let's say your Tomcat service is shut down, and when you try to access SailPoint, it will not come up. We may complain like why it is not coming up, because the SailPoint IAQ is deployed inside Apache Tomcat. So if Apache Tomcat is not running, obviously SailPoint IAQ will also be not running. And the most common scenario that we have to consider is the SailPoint IAQ is hosted within Tomcat. Okay, so when this Tomcat is running, if it is like providing the services for the SailPoint IIQ web application, this Tomcat will be using some of the SailPoint IIQ files. Okay, be it for generating the logs or be it for presenting the user interface and everything. Whenever Tomcat is running, it tries to make use of some of the files in SailPoint IIQ. Let's suppose we have a requirement wherein we are modifying some SailPoint IIQ files. Okay. So what happens if two parallel operations try to perform any activity? So here Apache Tomcat is running and it is making use of some of the files of SailPoint IIQ. At the same time, you logged into the server and you are trying to change the SailPoint IIQ files manually. So in such situation, there are high chances that the files may get corrupted and this SailPoint IIQ application may fail due to the file corruptions. It may not function properly. Okay. In order to avoid such issues, we have to make sure that whenever you are doing any modifications for SailPoint IIQ, you have to make sure that Apache Tomcat is not running. It means like Tomcat is not like using any of the files of SailPoint IIQ, so that we will not have this concurrent modification and there will not be any chances of failure or file corruptions. Okay. So similarly for database, let's suppose the DB team is saying that they need to perform some patching activity for the database or they need to perform some like maintenance activity. Okay. So during that time, this SailPoint IIQ will always be communicating with the database for read and write operations. So if SailPoint is performing read and write operations on the database, and all of a sudden, if the DB team shut down the database, then SailPoint will not work properly because it has a lot of dependency on the database. So if the database is gone, it will not be able to perform any activity in the UI, in the web browser. So that's why if we are touching the database, be it the database server or be it the SailPoint installation of instance of database, if we are doing any activity, we have to make sure that we are shutting down Apache Tomcat. So when we shut down Apache Tomcat, our SailPoint IIQ will not run. If SailPoint IIQ is not running, it will not make any communication to the database. So there will not be again any concurrent modifications and the chances of failure is very less. Okay. So that's why it is very important to understand the architecture so that we will get to know what will happen if we touch any of the software components. Okay. So this is the dependency here, right? Are we good? Or do you have any questions in this part?
Kalyan, we get to know that how we can communicate between this database and the SailPoint
SailPoint
IIQ, right?
IIQ. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow,
Yeah.
that is part of our installation. So
Yeah.
after setting up the IAQ, I mean, web instance and database instance, we'll also establish the communication between these two. That will be doing.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. And also one more doubt. For example, if we take Linux software, Linux
Mhm.
OS, Linux system, and then how we know that which application server or which database server is compatible with Linux? Is there any guide for that or like any document for that?
No, no. So these
Mhm.
versions, they have
Yeah.
mentioned, right? That we
Yeah.
have seen in the documentation.
Yeah.
These individual software versions are
Hmm.
compatible with all the operating systems.
Okay.
Let's say if I am using Linux server, in
Yeah.
Linux server also Apache Tomcat 9 is supported and Apache Tomcat 8.5 is also supported. It is
Okay.
just that you need to download Apache Tomcat 9.2 for Linux platform. That's it. The
Okay.
versions will be same. Got it right?
Yes. Yes, Kalyan. Got it.
Oh, fine.
And in this, with the same case for database as well, right? Everything
Yes.
will be support on every server like Windows,
Every
Linux.
operating system. Yes, right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the versions will be supported on any operating system platform. It is just that we have to make sure that we are downloading the particular version of software for the particular operating system we are using.
Okay.
So when we say MySQL 8.0, I will download MySQL
Mm.
8.0, but MySQL 8.0 itself will provide different flavors like MySQL 8.0 for Windows, MySQL 8.0 for Linux, MySQL 8.0 for Mac. That way they will provide. So we have to download with the same version for the operating system that we are using.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
Right. So now we know what version to use. We have the installers also handy, and we know what is the deployment architecture that we are going to follow. So now we are good to get started with the installation process. And the first thing we install is Java. We already have the operating system. The first thing we install is Java. Like, how many of you are familiar with Java and its installation process?
I have installed in my system like few months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Okay, so Java installation is pretty straightforward,
Yep.
but the additional overhead that comes up with Java installation is path setting. Okay, so for installing Java, what we need to do is we simply have to go to the installer, double click on the installer, and just say like next, 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 and complete. So blindly follow whatever maybe the steps that are popped up on the installation window. Let's say yes, and you can hit next, 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 and complete the installation. That basically completes the installation process. So during the installation process, one thing that we note is the path in which the Java has been installed. So during a particular step, it will give a pop-up window where it gives us the path of our local, like C drive followed by something, something. It gives the path. So we need to note the path. Okay. So let's say we have installed, like you have forgotten the path, that is also fine. We can figure it out. So what we need to do is after installation of your Java, you need to click on this C drive. Within C drive, go to program files. And in program files, you must find a path called Java. I mean the folder called Java. Double click on it. Within the Java folder, you will find JDK. Okay. Copy this path. Copy the path where you have all the Java related files present, at least till the JDK path. So we need to set this path in our operating system. Okay. Path setting. Installation, it's pretty straightforward. Just run the installer, hit next, next, next till it completes. After installation process, we need to do something called Java path setting. So in order to do the Java path setting, we need the physical location in our C drive where the JDK related files are present. Okay, we'll take this path and we will do the path setting. Okay, so for doing the path setting, we have to go to the properties. For example, just give right click on this PC, go to properties. Okay, under this, we need to go to advanced system settings, and under advanced system settings, we need to go to environment variables. Okay, so within environment variables, you can see I already have this Java home setup. So this is the path setting. So you will not find anything like Java home. What you need to do is you need to click on new, just give a name like Java underscore home. And in the variable value, you just paste the path you have copied. Okay. And just hit OK. Once you hit OK, you will see something like this. Okay. So similarly, this is for user variable path. We need to do similar thing for system variable also. Just click new, give the name as Java underscore home, paste the path and say okay. That's it. And along with that, along with Java home path, we have a variable called path itself. So this will be present by default. So just click on this path and say edit. So you can see here, so many entries are there. You just need to click new, paste the value here again and save it. So I already have it added, so I'm not saving it, but For you, if it is not added, you have to add it in that, in this particular path variable also. You have to add a new variable, a value will say the name as Java home and give the value. And also you have to edit this path and you have to add the path variable as well. Okay. So once it is added, just click OK, apply, save, whatever that comes here. And once that is done, once the path setting is done, we can verify Java installation. And we can also verify the version as well. So in order to verify that, just go to command prompt, CMD, open command prompt, and just give the command java-version. If you give java-version command, it will give the result something like this. It will show the Java version. Currently, I have installed 24. The reason why I installed 24 is like because of backward compatibility, and I am fine with that. Like, I'm not going to raise any SailPoint support cases. So I have installed Java 24 in my laptop. So this way, if you have installed Java 8, then once you set the path, after setting the path, once you give the command Java-version, then it should show Java version 8, something like this. So once you get this message, then we will get a confirmation that Java has been installed successfully in our operating system. Okay. So this is pretty much how we install Java. We set the path for Java and we will also verify the installation. Okay. Any doubts in this, at least in the Java installation part?
No, Kalyan.
Okay. So I think you people are good with Java installation, but one thing to be noted here. So we are doing something called path setting, right? Any idea why do we need to do the path setting? What is the point in doing the path setting, and what happens if we don't do the path setting?
Maybe to connect with the application servers or
So
SailPoint.
whether we are using application server or not, basically we do the path setting. Okay. Let me see if we have time to discuss this. I think we only have 3 minutes of time left. Okay, no worries. We'll stop the session here for today. We only had 3 more minutes left. Okay, in next session, I will explain like why do we need to do the path setting. So this will be an interesting topic. We generally use that, but we don't understand that it works in that way. We will discuss that in detail in next session. Okay, so for now, let's utilize the 2 minutes that we have for any doubts clarification. Okay. Please let me know if you have any doubts in the topics we have discussed so far. And
Nothing for
okay, thanks, Monica, for confirming. You will be getting the drive link soon. So within the drive link, you will have the installers. You can get started parallelly with our lab. Okay. Okay. Shreya and Alam, do you have any doubts?
No, Kalyan.
Is it clear, Shreya? Are you getting things?
Yeah,
Do you have any
yeah.
confusions?
No, Kalyan.
Good, right? Okay. So parallelly start your setup also, Shreya. I hope you have a laptop available. Once you
Yeah.
have the installers and all, like whatever we are doing in the sessions, you can do that parallelly. You can practice it. Okay.
In my system already there is a Java and Tomcat,
Okay,
Kalyan.
cool. Cool then.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So how about you, Alam? Are you good? Do you have any doubts? Okay. I'll take it as a no. Okay. If we don't have any queries, like we can drop. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in next session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, no worries, Alam. I have seen your message. No problem. Okay, I'm hoping like you're able to catch up and you're able to grasp the content. And let me know if you have any doubts. So that's what I wanted to ask. Okay, guys, we'll see you next session. Thank you. Bye.